You're a girl, you're French, well, you're probably French, you have a French accent, and your name is Amicia. And you have a dog. See how cute he is? I hope nothing bad ever happens to you and I can pet you forever. Woo! Oh my god. My dad and I rush back to our castle. Yes, I have a castle, and no, you can't come over, you dirty plebs. We try to warn everyone about the freaky shit going on in the woods, but Paul gets shot by this bloke wearing tier 2 paladin raid armor. They all check on his dead corpse and want to know where our little bro is at. Little man's name is Hugo, and he's got some weird blood that we don't need to talk about just yet. Anyway, Ma says these guys are trolls, let's skedaddle. We sneak around and distract these stupid idiots with rocks and pots. Mama says to take Huey to her friend Lorenzo's, he's got a killer pad and can help cure him of his stank blood. She says peace and then gets stabbed by Pallyman. Damn, 2 parents sent to the graveyard within 20 minutes? That's a little rough. We sprint away and people begin throwing pointy objects in our direction. Not cool, guys. You need to be a little more considerate of everyone in the area. But it's fine. Scary things start popping up out of the ground, swallowing these tactless buffoons. After our walk, we see some smoke in a village. Ah, what's going on here, I wonder? Oh, a good old-fashioned witch burning. Nice. Turns out this village is suffering from a nasty plague thing called the bite. Ooh, sounds ominous. Also sounds like a 2000s emo vampire band, and I fucking love it. The inhabitants of this village decide to cure their plight by fanatically burning people. I heard that usually works. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Amicia is freaking goated with a slingshot. Some crackhead starts hanging on to Hugo, so I plant a rock in his dome. Amicia's like, oh, I didn't mean to. But I'm like, not gonna lie, I've been thinking about doing that to everyone since I picked this baby up. We find a church and go inside for help. Bad idea. Father Reverse Mullet quickly becomes rat food. I knew that game wasn't going to fare well for him. Apparently all these other monks had bad legs too. A lot of bones in here. Finally, we see Lorenzo's farm off in the distance, but currently we're in this blood swamp and rats start shooting up from the ground. No problem though, I'll just crush them with hundreds of dead animals. Did I mention this game was dark? Oh, I didn't? Well, here's an actual mountain of pig corpses. Too far? Okay, fine. They're not dead, they're just sleeping. Lorenzo is all old and he's like sick with the bite, just like the majority of adults in this game. He tells us Hugo is cursed with some nasty blood and he was trying to fix it with our mom or something like that. He says, get the hell out of here and go to my secret castle. Oh, and also, again, you should try and avoid the Inquisition because they are bad. Thanks, buddy. The rats hear us having a little soiree and decide it's time to crash the party. Somehow everything catches on fire and this alchemist kid Lucas says, peace, Lorenzo. I'm rolling with these guys now. We run away and find ourselves in the middle of a massive battlefield covered in dead muddy, sleeping soldiers. Yeah, this sleepy horsey gets a bellyache and decides he wants to be on the Spider-Man side of the big snap and dissipates into thousands of tiny, smaller pieces of horsey. We get captured by the Inquisition because these f***ers rat us out. Dude, I'm funny. They feel bad about it and break us out. Amicia doesn't like catching arrows, so she lets this guy do it for her. Also, for everyone being like 14 in this game, they sure are violent. Next, we find this sick water cave, and then we find Lorenzo's castle. Also, this game's music is straight out of Hereditary, and it's terrifying. I feel like someone's gonna whip out a piano wire and start doing tricks on the ceiling at any moment. Lucas is so jazzed about the castle, he stays up all night mixing chemicals like he's the French Walter White. After one night of trying, Lucas says he can't do it. What the f, dude? He says maybe he can do it with the help of the sketchy book sealed in the basement of the university. I'm like, fine. We get in there, and this weird guy, aka the Grand Inquisitor, is sucking dudes dry left and right. It's getting real weird, so I decide this chandelier would look better lower to the ground. It smashes the bad guy and catches everything on fire. We escape underground with this blacksmith kid, and what do you know? It's got the book we've been looking for. Perf. This kid's name is Roderick, and apparently he's a UFC middleweight champion. He's pulling rear naked chokes off left and right. Lucas then says he'll need some proper equipment if he's to make the perfect cure. Dude, this kid, oh my god. We decide to head back to our personal castle from the beginning of the game and use our mom's equipment. Oh, and the snitches show up and say they saw a woman being tortured, and it turns out that woman is our mom. Apparently that sword from earlier was just a trick of the light, so pay no attention to it. We make it back to our house, and it's getting weird. The rats are making a rat tornado, a rat NATO. Lucas thinks they're mating, and I'm like, come on, dude, how immature. Even stranger, the rats are not touching any of Hugo's stuff, almost as if he's having some sort of an effect on them. The rats burst out of the walls and spin into an uncontrollable NATO. To quote Lucas. We find a lab and start crafting. Turns out the stank blood has happened in the past with the Romans, and it probably happened many times before that. The rats start freaking out and begin attacking us, but Lucas finally pulls through and makes the perfect cure. We stroll back to the castle and Hugo takes a sip, but nothing seems to happen. He asks about his mom and wants to know if it hurts where she is at. Amicia says nah, torture's fun. These Muppets are all frolicking about in the morning and don't even notice that Hugo has run away. Amicia freaks out and begins searching, but ultimately she can't find him. Turns out Hugo's shacked up with the Inquisition and he's been giving his blood to the Grand Inquisitor. Say what? what? We play as Hugo for a little bit and sneak around the Grand Inquisitor's joint. We learn that he wants Hugo so that he can control the rats. Hugo finds his mother. She's a little banged up, but not too bad. She tells us to leave. We refuse, and she says fine. We break her out, and she says talk to the rats. I'm like, what? But I do, and it turns out I can control these little fuckers. I use our newfound rat powers to strip a few people of everything attached to their bones. No, actually. But Nasty Man outplays us and steals mommy away. We jump back to Amicia, but it's like months later. She's got a wicked new skin, fox head included. Paladin Boy and Hugo show up and want to fight. I'm like, bro, it's me. Hugo gets pissed, and they make a giant rat swirly. He snaps out of it, and this fella gets so mad he lights himself on fire. Doesn't matter though, we throw water balloons at him, and he gets sucked on by rats. We all decide to take the fight to the Inquisition. Bad guys show up, and we literally melt them with rats. We get in the cathedral, and it's just the Inquisitor guy. Our mom's in a cage, and he's acting super weird. We close in on him, but then he reveals his trap card. Some stupid ass albino rats only he can control. He's really giving it to us, shooting his rat load up high and then slamming it down. I'm like, that's nice, but I've got a slingshot, so I take 3 pot shots and the guy is blasted. In KO. 8 sleepy Inquisition soldiers out of 10. Asobo Studio, how can I too learn the ways of controlling the rabid mating rituals of these little rat bastards? Thanks.